Hello, my name is Kati Stoermer, and I'm the Executive Director for NRG Oncology. I'm here today just to give you a little bit of an overview of our organization. So the mission of NRG Oncology is to improve the lives of cancer patients through the conduct of practice-changing multi-institutional clinical and translational research. Our focus is in gender-defined malignancies such as gynecologic, breast, and prostate cancers, but we also cover the full spectrum of local and locally advanced tumors in most disease sites. In 2013, in response to the efforts to modernize the cooperative group system and the forming of the National Clinical Trials Network, NRG Oncology was formed by 3 previous cooperative groups, MSABP, RTOG, and the GOG. These 3 entities were previously funded as standalone cooperative groups. Today, they remain independent entities who collectively conduct federally funded clinical trials through NRG Oncology, and they serve as the corporate members of NRG Oncology. What that really means is through our articles of incorporation, the 3 foundations are named as the members of NRG Oncology with certain rights and obligations. NRG Oncology Foundation Incorporated is the legal organization that receives our federal award and partners with other organizations for the purposes of conducting federally funded clinical research. Outside of that, MSABP, RTOG, and GOG continue as independent organizations, each focused on making progress in the fight against cancer within their areas of expertise. Each of those organizations has members and industry partners, but function completely separate from NRG Oncology in that regard. As we noted, there are 5 U.S. network groups, including NRG Oncology, plus the Canadian Collaborating Clinical Trials Network within the NCTN structure. As you can see on the structure, all of this utilizes the centralized functions through the NCTN. Our organizational structure is complex, so I'm going to talk through that in more detail on the following slides, starting with the Board of Directors. The Board of Directors, as defined by our corporate bylaws, has 17 members. Each of our corporate members, GOG, RTOG, and MSABP, appoints 3 directors, and the remaining seats are ex officio nominated or elected depending on the seat and how it's constituted. The structure of the Board of Directors is to provide a broad representation across the group. The board has ultimate responsibility for the organization. The NRG Oncology group chairs serve as the board officers. They each also have a defined role within the group. Dr. Mantle is the chairman of the board, Dr. Walmart is the contact principal investigator for the grant, and Dr. Kern is the presiding group chair of our semi-annual meeting. We also have 3 deputy group chairs. Dr. Mackay is the deputy chair for a research center, Dr. Baer for publications and communications, and Dr. Miller is the deputy chair for membership as well as our research integrity program. We are also fortunate to be funded as a NCI Community Oncology research-based oncology research program, research-based. Dr. Watkins-Bruner and Dr. Walker are the PIs for that program and that grant, and our Cancer Control and Prevention Committee, Cancer Care Delivery Research Committee, our Health Disparities Committee, and our Patient Center Outcomes Research are all under that umbrella. We have, on our org chart, we have 3 distinct centers: our Statistics and Data Management Center, our Research Center, and our Operations Center. And we're going to talk about each of these in more detail. The core of our activities is through the Research Center. At the utmost level, we have a Research Strategy Committee, which is comprised of the leaders of all of the various NRG Oncology committees, and they are responsible for deciding what concepts NRG will put forth. The Research Strategy Committee has an executive committee who helps with the prioritization of our research portfolio, and our Protocol Operations Management Committee helps keep an eye on those protocols once they're open. We then have three buckets of committees. We have our disease site committees and our non-disease site committees, as well as our scientific core committees. We'll start with our disease site committees. There are 7, and that's our brain tumor, breast cancer, GI cancer, GU cancer, gynecologic cancer, head and neck, and lung cancer committees. Some of these may have subcommittees under them or working groups for particular therapeutic areas within them, but overall they are denoted by focusing in a certain disease area. We then have our non-disease site specific committees, or disease agnostic committees, if you will, and that's our translational science, our developmental therapeutics, our patient-centered outcomes, cancer prevention and control, and health disparities. These are all the committees that are protocol generating within our group. So they are responsible for developing and putting forth research questions within the group. We also have the scientific core committees, whose purpose is to actually support the protocol generating committees. So they typically will have liaisons that sit on the disease or non-disease site specific committees. You can see them listed here: medical oncology, pathology, imaging, radiation oncology, protocol support, and surgical oncology. And they lend their expertise to the developing protocols in our scientific committees. We then have our biorepository. We have that at 3 primary sites that manage and support the biorepository functions within our group. And then we have our Energy Statistics and Data Management Center that is under the leadership of Energy Group statistician Jim Dignam. And they have 4 departments that support energy: biostatistics, data management, information technology, and audit and operations. And then we have the Energy Operations Center, which is where I spend a lot of my focus. And we have 8 teams within our Operations Center that support the various areas of the group as they're listed here, including protocol development, regulatory, translational science operations, our Office of Finance and Grants, member services, meeting services, publications, and communications. The Operations Center also supports a number of administrative committees, including the Ancillary Projects Committee, our Communications Committee, our New Investigators Committee, membership, our Patient Advocate Committee, and our Publications Committee. Energy is supported by a number of core federal grants, and they're listed here primarily through the NCTN. We have our Operations Center and a Statistics and Data Management Center. We have the previously mentioned NCORP research-based grant and our biospecimen banking grant. Those grants support, in large part, the per case funding that's passed through to our sites for their participation in NCTN studies, as well as the effort and support from our SDMC and operations centers. But they also include budgets for travel and meeting support, biospecimen banking, modest effort for leaders, and we do get some protocol-specific supplements as well. Energy membership is at the institutional level. So if you are at an energy institution, you are welcome to join the roster of individuals who are energy investigators. The requirement for institutions to join us is that we require 15 patient cases per year credited to NRG. Of course, we require satisfactory data quality and audit performance. Those 15 cases can come from across the entire energy portfolio. And if the network has an affiliate, the affiliate accrual will roll up to count toward that requirement. And if you may be aware that if you participate in multiple NCTN groups, you can enroll a patient that's on another study, but you can credit that toward energy, and we will count that as part of that requirement. The current slate of networks that we have, the lead academic performance sites, or LAPs, they're grant funded, usually large academic medical centers who are funded to participate in the NCTN. We have currently 32. Then we have the community-based research sites, as well as the funded minority and underserved community sites. And then we have quite a number of other centers who are not directly grant funded, but receive per case accrual through the groups. We typically hang out at about 200 or so networks. This is just a brief snapshot of who we are as an organization. I hope it was helpful for you. If you'd like more information, we have a lot of information on our website that may be helpful to you, or it may provide you some additional information about how to get involved. We also have developed, or will be developing, some more short videos to help provide more information to you about how NRG Oncology works.